Good morning students, Sairam. Let's continue with chapter 11 Algebra. Children, in the previous session I had given problem number 7 of exercise 11.1 as the homework. I hope most of you must have solved this problem. Now check your solution, your answer. So what was the problem? Radha is drawing a dot rangoli with chalk powder. She has 9 dots in a row. How many dots will her rangoli have for R rows? How many dots are there if there are 8 rows or there are 10 rows? So there is a dot rangoli drawn by Radha and she has 9 dots in a row. So how many dots will be there in R rows we have to find out, and also if there are 8 rows or 10 rows. Let's check the solution. So number of dots in one row will be 9, isn't it? And number of dots in two row will be 9 multiplied by 2. That means 18 dots. And what will be the number of dots in 3 rows? We will multiply 9 by 3. So we get 27 dots, isn't it? Because 9 is the number of dots in each row. So there are 3 rows means 9 multiplied by 3, 27 dots. That means we can conclude, we can write a general formula for this. What is that? Number of dots will be equal to 9 into number of rows. And here we have number of rows R. So what will be the formula for this? Number of dots will be 9 multiplied by R. That means 9R. And where R is number of rows. So for R number of rows, how many dots will be there? There will be 9R dots. Now let's find out how many dots will be there for 8 rows. So here we have R, that means number of rows as 8. Okay, so what will be the number of dots for 8 rows? It will be 9R, that means 9 multiplied by 8. So there will be 72 dots in 8 rows. And how many dots will be there for 10 rows? Here R is 10, number of rows is 10, isn't it? So what will be the number of dots? It is 9R, that means 9 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 90. So how many dots will be there for 10 rows? There will be 90 dots. I hope your answer is correct. Let's move on to the next problem. Problem number 8 of exercise 11.1. Leela is Radha's younger sister. Leela is 4 years younger than Radha. Can you write Leela's age in terms of Radha's age? Take Radha's age to be X years. So we have two girls here, Leela and Radha. Leela is younger than Radha, and how many years she is younger? She is 4 years younger than Radha. And Radha's age we will take as X years. So how will we write the expression for Leela's age in terms of Radha's age? So Leela is 4 years younger than Radha. So Leela's age will be Radha's age minus 4. And what is Radha's age? We have taken it as X years. So what will be Leela's age? It will be X minus 4 years. Children, I have explained it to you yesterday in the previous session that numbers can be added or subtracted from variables. Variable we take for the unknown number. That means Radha's age we don't know. That's why we have taken X. Variable means its value is not fixed. Its value changes. X is Radha's age. So what will be the expression for Leela's age? It will be X minus 4 years. Suppose Radha's age is 12 years. Suppose X is 12. Then what will be the Leela's age? It will be 12 minus 4, that means 8 years. So we can take Radha's age as 16 years or 10 years, and then we can find out Leela's age. X is the variable, that is Radha's age. Now let's move on to the next problem. Problem number 9. Mother has made laddus. She gives some laddus to guests and family members. Still 5 laddus remain. If the number of laddus mother gave is L, how many laddus she made? So number of laddus she has given away is L. It is given. Okay, it is L. And number of laddus those are remaining after giving away, they are 5. So what will be the number of laddus she made? It will be number of laddus that she has given away plus number of laddus that those are remaining. So number of laddus given away is L. So and the number of laddus remaining is 5. So what is the total number of laddus she made? That is L plus 5. And L is number of laddus given away. L is the variable. Now question number 10. Oranges are to be transferred from larger boxes into smaller boxes. When a large box is emptied, the oranges from it fill 2 smaller boxes and still 10 oranges remain outside. If the number of oranges in a small box are taken to be X, what is the number of oranges in the larger box? Children, you have to be very attentive to solve this problem. This is very simple, but you have to be very attentive while solving this. Oranges have to be transferred from one large box to smaller boxes, 2 smaller boxes. Okay, and in the 2 smaller boxes, the oranges are filled, then 10 oranges will remain outside. And the number of oranges in each small box is X. So what is the number of oranges in large box? So here we have a large box. From this box, the oranges are transferred into 2 small boxes, and then still 10 remains outside the boxes. And the number of oranges in 2 small boxes are X. So how do we solve this problem? Children, it is given that all the oranges of large boxes transferred into smaller boxes, it will fill 2 small boxes and 10 oranges will remain outside. So it will be 2 multiplied by number of oranges in small box plus 10, isn't it? Then the number of oranges in small box is taken as X. So the number of oranges in the large box will be 2x plus 10. 2x plus 10. Some printing mistake is there, write 10 here. So what will be the number of oranges in large box? It will be 2 times x, because in small box, each small box we have x number of oranges. So it is 2 times x and 10 raw oranges, those who are which are remaining outside. So it will be 2x plus 10, the total number of oranges in large box, and x is the number of oranges in small box. Children, please note down this problem and all the other problems also. You should be very attentive and carefully note down in your notebooks. Now let's move on to the next problem. Problem number 11, exercise 11.1. So what is the problem? Look at the following matchstick patterns of squares. The squares are not separate. Okay, here the squares are attached. 2 neighboring squares have one common matchstick, isn't it? Here this one is the common one. Here 2 common ones are there, and here 1, 2, 3 common sticks are there. Okay, and now we have to observe the pattern and write the rule that gives the number of matchsticks in terms of number of squares. So how do we solve this? Hint is given that if we remove one vertical stick, that means this stick from every pattern, then what will we get? We get a pattern of C's, isn't it? If we remove this like this, then we get pattern of C's, isn't it? So here we can remove this and we get C. Here also if we remove this, we get 2 C's. If we remove this stick, then we get 3 C's, and if we remove this stick, we get 4 C's, isn't it? So let's solve this problem. Children, you can see that if the number of square is 1, like in the first square in A, number of square is 1, then how many matchsticks are there? 4. Okay, for 2 squares, like for this, for B, we have 7 matchsticks. For C, we have, that means for third one, we have 10 matchsticks. And in D, for 4 squares, we have 13 matchsticks. So, can we find out a rule for this from this? Children, we notice that if we remove one matchstick from the end, we get patterns of C. I have explained this to you. One at the end from here, from here, from here and from here. If we remove one stick, we get patterns of C's. So, what can we conclude? We know that in C we need, in one C we need 3 matchsticks. Okay. So, the number of C's, if the number of matchsticks in C's will be 3n, isn't it? Where n will be number of C's formed. Okay. So, it is not number of C's, it will be number of matchsticks. In C's will be 3n. So, if we add one vertical line to pattern of C's, we get squares, isn't it? So, we can write a formula like this. See, if we add one vertical stick to these are patterns of C. Now, we add one vertical stick to each pattern, we get squares. So, what will be the formula? What will be the rule for this? So, the number of matchsticks will be 3 into number of squares, 3 into number of squares plus 1, isn't it? So, if we write x as number of squares, then what will be this? It will be 3x plus 1, isn't it? Number of matchsticks will be 3x plus 1, and where x is the number of squares. Similar type of question, the second one B is also. Here we have a matchstick pattern of triangles, okay, and we have to find the general rule that gives the number of matchsticks in terms of number of triangles. So, 1 triangle here, 2 triangles, 3 triangles and 4 triangles. So, we have to write a general rule that gives number of matchsticks in terms of number of triangles. So, here also we can observe that when we have one triangle like in A, we have 3 matchsticks. For 2 triangles like in B, we have 5 matchsticks. For C, that means 3 triangles, we have 7 matchsticks, and in D we have 9 matchsticks. Now, so we see that first triangle requires 3 matchsticks, isn't it? First triangle requires 3 matchsticks, isn't it? The first one. Second triangle requires 3 matchsticks of first triangle plus 2 matchsticks, isn't it? Now, let's move on to the next one. Then third triangle requires 3 matchsticks of first triangle plus 2 matchsticks of second triangle plus 2 matchsticks of third triangle. Okay, 2 matchsticks of third triangle. So, every new triangle requires 2 matchsticks for each triangle plus 1 additional matchstick. That means it will be number of triangles if it is 1, then we have 2 multiplied by 1 plus 1, that means 3. If we have number of triangles 2, then it will be 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1, isn't it? That means 4 plus 1, 5. If you have 3 triangles like this, then it will be 2 multiplied by 3 plus 1, that means 6 plus 1, that is 7. And if we have 4 triangles, then it will be 2 multiplied by 4 plus 1, that means 8 plus 1, that means 9. So, children, carefully you observe the figures and try to understand this problem, and please note it down neatly in your notebook. So, the number of matchsticks will be 2 multiplied by number of triangles plus 1. So, this is the rule we can write for this. So, if x is number of triangles, then what will be this? It will be 2x plus 1, where x is number of triangle. Children, when you try to understand step by step, this is very simple. So please note it down step by step and try to understand and solve more of such kind of problems. With this problem, I end this session. Thank you.